Back on the campaign trail, the Liberal Party of Canada, which have now, of course, has secured a fourth consecutive term, promised to support Canadian businesses amid economic challenges, rising costs, and, of course, escalating trade tensions with the U.S. The Liberal platform, called Canada Strong, laid out a series of pledges intended to help small and medium-sized businesses. Our next guest says now's the time for the country's political parties to come together, avoid partisan bickering, and implement programs and initiatives to support companies that need help. We're joined by Daryl Ching, managing partner at Vistance Accounting. Daryl, thanks a lot for coming in.
Thank you, Paul.
Just in the break, just before we came to camera, on camera, you said sentiment among small and medium-sized businesses is essentially as weak now as it was during the pandemic because of the tariff threat that many of them are facing.
Because of that, an astounding number I could throw at you. In 2024, there were 6,200 bankruptcies, corporate bankruptcies. That is the highest number in 15 years since the 2008-2009 financial crisis. If you talk to a lot of business owners these days, the word is survival. They're talking about hunkering down, lowering costs, and a lot of them are not talking about expansion, especially at a time that is so uncertain. So it is a more important time now than ever for the Liberal Party to deliver on their platform and help small businesses so we can get through these challenging years and move ahead and look ahead for 4 years later.
Specifically, they're worried about what? Not being able to sell their products in the United States as they have in the past?
Yes, I mean, and it's twofold. When it comes to tariffs, there is exporting to the U.S., which a lot of Canadian companies do. We rely on that market. And whether they've been impacted or not, there's an uncertainty that it may be. And also, we import a lot of raw materials and goods from the U.S. as inputs for our products that we manufacture here in Canada. So there's a lot of uncertainty there as well, and that could increase our input costs, and therefore we have to increase our pricing to consumers.
Remind us what the Liberals promised on the campaign trail for this sector of the Canadian business community.
Sure, Paul, there are 6 things that I will rifle through that were really important for small businesses. First, they promised $6.5 billion of funding for businesses that were impacted by tariffs or for businesses that are looking to export outside of Canada. Second, they talked about expanding infrastructure in transportation on railways, highways, and ports, so it makes it easier to move goods across the country. Third, they talked about expanding trade relationships with a primary focus on Europe, Asia, and Latin America. Fourth, they promised a 1% cut in personal income tax on lowest income tax bracket. Number 5 was the interprovincial trade barriers. They've promised to remove a lot of them, in fact, promising a plan by June, which could unlock $200 billion of additional GDP if done successfully. And the last one is generating a more robust workforce through apprenticeship programs and training for trades, manufacturing, green tech, and AI. How
material would be the long-promised reduction in interprovincial trade barriers? I say long-promised because it's been talked about for decades. There seems to be finally some action on it, but it's been a talking point for many years.
I think that we're going to see traction there. No province wants to be left out of this conversation. When we had access to the U.S. market, it was less of an urgency. Like particularly Quebec puts up the most barriers. They had access to an open U.S. market. They weren't as concerned. Now, the Western provinces are certainly making a lot of traction, and there's discussions. Those discussions happened well before Trump came into power. So I don't think any province wants to be left out of that conversation right now. The best thing that we can do is open up that market for 40 million people, especially when it comes to transportation, construction, and food. Those are the industries that are the most impacted, that face the most provincial barriers. It is in everyone's interest for us to remove those barriers and make sure that we collaborate on this.
Okay, so we've got a minority government. Are you worried that a minority government may not move as decisively on this as a majority government would?
It is. I am worried. This is the worst case scenario, in my opinion. I said all along that whether the Conservatives or Liberals win, I was hoping for majority government so they can move ahead with their plan. So from my perspective, I don't agree with everything the Liberals put out, but they have a robust strategy that addresses a lot of the concerns for Canadians. No action is the worst thing that can happen. And, Mark Carney put out this plan. We went out to vote, and we as Canadians endorse this plan. So the best thing we can do is not stand in the way and let them go ahead and move forward with this plan. So my advice to all the opposition parties is to support the agenda. Canadians have spoken. Let's move forward with this campaign. Certainly, if they bait and switch and do something different, like if Mark Carney comes back and says, I want to put personal carbon tax back on the table, we should fight that tooth and nail. But for these particular promises, they are important. They're important to keep the private sector going. I think we should not stand in the way, and we should allow them to do what they promised.
You want these to be priorities, obviously. That's another question, because governments focus on a certain number of things at a certain amount of time. They rank their priorities. You want these to be very close to the top. Would you expect to see some action here in the first Carney budget, which may not be that far away?
Absolutely. They even promised interprovincial trade barrier plan by June, which is not that far away at all. I think that right now, economy is top of mind for most Canadians, just because of the last decade under the Trudeau government, where we went backwards in productivity and backwards in economic expansion. So I think that this is top of mind for everybody right now.
Daryl, thank you for coming in and talking about it.
Thank you, Paul.
Daryl Ching.